Moonlight Madness, and today we're doing the sign of fire. We're working with the deck of the Doreen Virtues and Radleigh Valentine's The Fairy Tarot deck, which was a collaboration between the two of them. And we're working with Work Your Light Oracle deck by, who's I got it here, Rebecca Campbell, artwork by Danielle Knoll, and the artwork by Doreen Virtues was Howard David Johnson. Okay, now I had a channeled message from a church funding for the Matara, organising funding for this show, and I'm currently volunteer working in a university situation where I'm put my candle there, where I'm photographing old ledgers from back in the 1990s, sometimes 1800s, of just transactional history. So I've been doing that, and I went home and had this vision the week after I photographed a ledger, and they were talking about raising money for the Matara show and how to transfer money with dates. Money was transferred to council's coffers, and old plates were to sell to help raise funding for the Matara. I was taken to a visitor cottage with a beautiful garden in front, and the lady looked at my hands and read me. She told me I'm a highly gifted spiritual person, and she could see all of my crosses on my hands. She asked me when my grandmother passed away, and I told her I was 4, but I actually was 10. So that was a channeled message. I had that on the 12th, early hours of the morning, in what is known as alpha sleep, brainwave activity, when you're half awake, half asleep. I'm currently working on controlling that with a book that I've borrowed from the library, to train yourself to snap out of alpha and go into beta, which is breakfast time, awake time, fully awake. I'm trying to work with that so that I don't have to try and keep grounded. I find it really hard to stay grounded and not go off and see stuff that's in the future for me and for other people that I'm worried about or haven't seen in a while. Now, the first card I pulled is an Ace of Springs. It's an action card, a doing card. You may have to start doing something, to take action, to take up your sword and fight for another day. You may have to be proactive. You may not have heard back from a job you're waiting to hear from. It's an opportunity. So there's a new job opportunity coming for someone. For some of it, it's a birth of a relationship, or the birth of an idea, or a birth of a creative endeavour, the birth of a online activity, if you do online tarot cards like I do, or just an online presence. So it's talking about the very first hatchlings, where something's been birthed. Crossing your path is a Prince of Cups. This person is romantic, captivating, dramatic, flirtatious, and you may fall in love suddenly, being swept off your feet. The need to stay grounded, daring, and very emotional experience. There could be a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio energy. I'm strongly getting Scorpion energy because we've got the Three of Swords over here, which to me is death and rebirth. So you may be currently separated from them. You may him or she may be living in a different country to you, and your only way to communicate is via the internet or via text message or email. You just aren't physically in the same realm. You may be daydreaming about each other. You may be walking in a meditative state when you're actually in the alpha state, and getting downloads and impressions of what they're doing at that particular time of the day. For me, it's usually between 11 and 1 when I get my most intense impressions. I'm trying to control that with this book. We'll see. We'll surely see what we see. Currently, I'm not using lavender in the morning time because I find that A, lowers my blood pressure, and B, it sends me off into a sleepy mode, and C, that's when I start having visions through the day. I'm trying to slow them down. So during a very emotional experience, this particular person may be very romantic, may love art and music, may have an vested interest in drawing or making music or making art. They may also be someone who's quite young at heart, a lot of fun, a lot of flirtation. They may read poetry, but also be looking at someone else while staring in your eyes. Someone else may grab their attention. They're very hard to pin down because they're still young. So if you want something solid, this is not your person, not at this time. Then you've got, in the recent past, you've had a lot of activity. You were completely stressed out. You're trying to carry 10 other people's burdens plus your own. Ask for help from others. All work and no play. Being weighed down by too many responsibilities. You may feel that in the past you had a job, you had 2 kids to raise, you had a house to maintain, you had an exercise regime to adhere to, and maybe you were studying as well, like furthering your education. These things all come at a cost of time and multitasking and effort. And I think if you're a perfectionist like I am, you're going to struggle to get everything perfect, but you put a lot of pressure on yourself to do things perfectly straight away. Learning is all about failing and then rebuilding. I've failed many times, lost entire households of furniture and belongings and photographs and my mind at the time because I was overburdened and overweight. So I'm learning to say no to too much activity. Justice. Whoops. In the recent past, sorry about that, guys. In the recent past, you may have had a dealing with a situation, a legal matter. Maybe you were going through divorce, separation, a separation of assets. It says that you had to take the time to review the details. It says you will win in the end. Fair and objective decisions. The recent future, this is coming into crown you, is the happiest card in the deck. It's the Sun card. You're being told that you're going to come into great abundance, plans that work out perfectly, amazing ideas that lead to rewards and recommendations, and gratitude for the blessings of life. It's just saying that the sun is coming into your life. Maybe you're having a return of contact with a son that you currently are in separation from because of court cases or custody rulings or that are actually inaccurate. Things will come to light in your favour. They will dig up some information that paints that other person that may have painted you in a bad light, that it's actually just all illusions. It's all a masterful skill of fake smoke and mirrors is what I'm picking up. You may have some health kick that you're on. You've got the crown of the unicorn's horn, that you are trying to decide what is good for you and what is not. You're doing a detox, and back in the days when the kings and queens of old were scared someone was going to poison them, they would drink from a unicorn's horn to decipher if it was poisonous or not. You are going to know what is wrong for you and what is right for you. You'll intuitively pick up what is not good for you. A horn is blown when it announces an arrival of a son, perhaps, an arrival of a new idea, an arrival of love and happiness. The horns also get rid of evil. They were said to have horns blown to scare away bad spirits. The star is coming for you in the future. This is like a rebirth. You're going through a star moment. Maybe you become a star. You become a famous person. 7 and 1 is 8. It's a karmic thing. It was meant to be. You were meant to come into this stardom. It just maybe took a little longer because you had a lot of other things taking your time and energy. Your focus was not on making it big, but maybe now it is making it big. Look to the future and hope and optimism, the power of faith to move mountains, happy changes that bring relief from challenging situations. The star is also the Aquarian card, so maybe in the future you'll be with an Aquarian or someone heavily placed with an Aquarius placement. The star is also talking about the 8-pointed star, which is used in tarot in some Wiccan practices. The 6 of summer is to do with cups, children or childhood, the return of people or romances from your past, remembering events differently in a better or worse light than how they actually occurred. And then you've got the 3 of swords. This is to do with separation from a loved one. Maybe you're currently separated by a country, a town, a residence because of distance. You can't see them. You can only reach out to them via FaceTime because they are in another country or state or place. It says what's around you is it might be resolved. This separation might come about by the time December hits, where you'll be reunited with this person around Christmas time. I'm hoping that you get to see them because your sadness, everyone can see how sad you are without them. It says reach out to others for comfort. You grow stronger from this situation. Then here we've got the 2 of Swords. So pain, more separation, separating yourself from what you want and what someone wants for you. You know, we can have well-meaning family and friends who steer us to the way that they want to see us be. Maybe you don't fit into your current family. You may have different belief system to them. You may not be religious. You may be more spiritual like I am. And you find it difficult to fit into family scenarios. So you just choose not to share any of those things with them because it goes over their head, or they get scared of it, or they don't understand it. Yeah, and that maybe you're just coming into these powers of spiritualism and psychic abilities that are growing steadily. Mine came about when I was 13. I started having mad dreams, astral dreams where I was seeing future events, or I was talking with my grandmother who'd passed over from cancer. She had a scarf around her head. And she said to me, just have faith. I'm around you. Have faith in your abilities. Indecision is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. Feeling trapped between the intellectual and the emotional. Yeah, your indecision is between your head and your heart. Should you follow your head, be logical and safe, or follow your heart and go on that passion? Now, if you've got like Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries in your chart, that is very difficult to control your passions, because when you're passionate about something, you do well at it. But you also maybe have Earth in your chart, which makes you very logical on how am I going to afford this? How am I going to achieve this? Maybe you need to make some very long-term goals from now till next year of what you want to achieve for maybe your big birthday, a milestone. Maybe someone's turning a big number, like 30s or 40s or 50s. The 8 of summer is to do with packing up your old kit bag and just leaving the country. The desire for a more meaningful life, realizing it's time to move on, choosing to make major life changes. You may want to decide to move overseas or for a while to try something different. But it doesn't mean you can't come back. It means you've got 8 cuts, maybe 3 have fallen over. You've got 5 other offers or opportunities, and maybe it's a karmic lesson. Maybe you have to go over there to find your true love. Maybe that's where they lie, in the north, in the northern hemisphere. It's a leap of faith, but that's what it is with love. Love is a leap of faith. The 2 of Cups is to do with love, falling in love or making a serious commitment to each other, forgiveness and the resolution of a problem. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. That's if you are currently in one.